At this very moment, we're living the second Gilded Age. Do you ever ask yourself why the endless wars all across the world? And how is that beneficial for the country? And exactly beneficial for who? Who are all these wars beneficial for? The military industrial complex? The rich oligarchs? Who? So we have endless money for pointless wars, but we don't have money to raise the minimum wage. The minimum wage hasn't been raised since 2009. All across the country, the minimum wage is $7.25. Now, Trump ran for office this second term on the promise that he was no longer going to tax tips. Why not raise the minimum wage to $22 or $25 instead? Yeah, you heard me. $22 an hour. That's how much the minimum raise should be if they would keep up with the economy since back in the 1960s or 70s. They've been taxing the rich and multimillionaires and billionaires less and less since before the Reagan administration. That's how long it's been since they've been taxing them less and less and less. They used to tax them at some point 50 or 60%. Now it's like in the 20% or less. And Trump with the big beautiful bill, it's going to be even less than that. You believe that? To get to that point? And they have been pitching the same bullshit. Both parties have been pitching the same bullshit. If we tax the oligarchs less, then all the money is going to trickle down to the lower working class. It's been trickling down to the bank accounts of those oligarchs that already have piles and piles of money already. They say that if we tax the rich, they're going to take their businesses out of the country. Like what? That's already happened. They already took their business out of the country. Budweiser left in 2008. General Motors is no longer exclusive to the US. Its owners are international shareholders. Motorola is now owned by a Chinese company, Lenovo. The list goes on and on of different corporations and companies that have left the United States. This is not news. This is something that's been going on for decades. You know why? Because of greed. They don't want to lose profits by bringing their businesses back to the US and having to pay US workers more money when they can actually just leave their companies outside of the US and pay those workers 3 times less than what they would pay us. That's why they're not going to bring their businesses back. Now, Trump has been saying over and over again in this new second term that he's going to bring all those companies back and that he's going to do this and he's going to do that. I call bullshit. He's just always giving false promises. He never delivers. All he does is he gets into office and then he backtracks everything and does the complete opposite. That's what he keeps doing. And people just eat that shit up like if it was candy. The game is rigged, everyone. Just look at the oligarchs' bank's account. They don't lie. We all know that the game is rigged. These oligarchs are so rich that they can actually buy islands. How crazy is that? They can buy islands. Like what? At this point, it seems like they could actually buy planets if they were available. That's probably why Elon Musk is so interested in this Mars mission, this SpaceX, expedition, that he's been trying to get people to Mars. It's just so that he can get to Mars and he can just keep the planet for himself. Come on. He's not going to do anything for humanity to take, other working class citizens to Mars. Come on. That's just BS. When does it end, honestly? When does this end? When are we going to say enough is enough? And you know the answer? When the working class puts an end to it, that's when. When we put an end to it. And you know how? By putting relentless pressure on all those who are supposed to be representing us. On those local congressmen, congresswomen, local representatives, putting the pressure, relentless pressure, constant pressure. So that they can actually put laws that benefit us, not benefit them. Hey guys, just a quick break to let you know that if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, please do so. It helps the channel grow tremendously. And I would greatly appreciate it. And for whoever already hit the subscribe button, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Now back to our video. It ends now. If not, the gap in wealth and inequality in wealth from the lower working class to the rich oligarchs is just going to keep winding it up more and more and more. until it's too late. And before we know it, we're going to be back in the 1870s and the 1890s. That's what's going to happen. We're going to be back to the age of kings and monarchs. That's what's going to happen. The research is there, everyone. The examples are there. They always say that history always repeats itself. And it's up to us to open our eyes and do something about it. You see, what Trump and the oligarchs are doing now, we all know it's not new. It's a repetition of the Gilded Age. The oligarchs back then in the 1870s and the 1890s were doing the exact same thing that the oligarchs now are doing. They're buying congressmen. They're buying Supreme Court justices. Like Clarence Thomas, for instance. He's on some billionaire's pocket. That's why whenever decisions come to him, he'll go ahead and vote in favor of that person. He doesn't give a shit about the people or what the people want. He's just there to please the oligarchs, the billionaires. That's all he's doing there. But remember, just like the Gilded Age, we had someone who put a stop to the oligarchs back then. And you know who that someone was? It was Theodore Roosevelt. He put an end to that shit. And just like him, we can do the same thing. We have a choice, and we can actually turn this around. It doesn't have to end like this. We can actually put an end to this if we fight back. That's just it. We have to fight back. We can't just sit back in our asses and just watch all this happen. We have to do something about it. Democracy doesn't stand on its own 2 feet. Democracy is something that is constantly under threat. Constantly, always. It's just the way it's always been. We cannot just sit back and relax and let things happen, because just look at what's been happening since Trump came into the picture until now. How many laws have changed? How many things, how many rights and laws that had been pushed forward since the civil rights movement until now have been retracted? One by one, they've been retracted. One after the other. And to this day, it's still happening. And they're going to keep on doing. The famous George Carlin once said that we don't have rights. What we have are privileges. And he couldn't be more right. Because you know what they say, right? It's a privilege. You have the privilege, and how you have it, they can take it away from you. So he was spot on that. And what we have, the privileges that we have, or we want to call them rights, those are things that they can take away from us like that. And that's exactly what Trump has been doing since he came into office for the first time. And if you pay close attention, the division amongst us, the people, the working class in the United States, has been divided more and more and more. And it's been 10 years since that's been happening. And before 2015, can you guys tell me how often would you see fights or issues amongst friends and family members because of politics? I don't remember. That didn't start happening until Trump came into the picture. And if that doesn't show you the story, that's just the way it is. Since he came into office, you would start seeing the division. I'm Republican, I'm Democrat, I'm this, I'm that. And it's all bullshit. Those are just names, those are just labels. We have to get past that. We have to look at it this way. We have to vote for the people that actually are going to be doing something for us, the working class, that they're going to push forward what's beneficial for us. That's who we want to put into office. Not some clown because he's a Republican or he's a Democrat. That doesn't mean nothing if they're not going to be doing what is most beneficial for us, the working class. Remember, at the end of the day, they're civil servants. They're there to serve us, not the other way around. They're there to serve us. And Trump, let's be clear. Trump, he's a fascist. He's a fascist. It's right there in front of our eyes. We just have to pay attention, and we have to do something about it. We can't just sit back. We have to put a stop to this. It's now or never. The fight starts now.